Today we'll be working on the Galaxy S20 Plus. This device is pretty heavily damaged, and it looks like it would be pretty tricky to use. I'd be lying if I said it didn't look kinda cool though. The back glass isn't in great shape either, and our customer only needs the screen replaced for now, so let's dive in. There are 6 Phillips head screws holding the board connector shield, which also holds the wireless charging coil sticker. For years, Samsung has integrated a simple temperature sensor in the form of a resistor that is part of this wireless charging coil. Without it, the phone won't charge because it thinks the temperature is too high. Disconnecting the battery is pretty important. The connector, much like the larger S20 Ultra, is held down by a 5G antenna ribbon. Now pull the wireless charging sticker off. There's a few more ribbons that need to be disconnected from the board. Moving on to the split mid-frame, I'll remove the 3 Phillips head screws holding in the top, followed by 5 more at the bottom. The top comes out easily enough, and the bottom has pry points on either side to safely remove it. I also noticed that the optical stabilization magnets in the cameras were affected by the magnetic mat below. Pretty neat. I'll pop off the ribbon cables from the charging board at the bottom. The display ribbon feeds through the bottom of the frame, and then there are 3 Phillips head screws to remove the charging port board. There's also a single board screw, and one more holding the camera assembly in place. It's worth noting that all screws in this phone are the exact same size. The charging board pulls up and out of the port below, and the main board at the top lifts up and away from the top. There are still 2 5G antennas that need to be removed. They're each held in with 2 Phillips head screws. The battery is very securely held in place. Using alcohol and a metal pry tool, I was able to slowly break the adhesive before lifting it out with a plastic spudger. The main board is lowered into the new housing. These replacement parts include the entire frame and small button assemblies pre-installed. Then we can slip the charging port board down into the bottom and tighten the 3 screws that secure it in place. I'll add a single strip of adhesive in the battery compartment. Honestly, it doesn't take as much as Samsung thinks. I'll drop the big 4500 mAh battery and press it down. Might as well reconnect the OLED and digitizer ribbon while we're here. The selfie camera is plugged in easily at the top. I'll put the board and camera screws back in place so the board isn't moving around freely while I go reconnect the ribbons. The 5G antennas fit snug into the edges of the frame, and I'll get those screwed in. Now we've got a couple Legos to reattach to the board before clipping the top mid-frame back in place. I'll screw this one in right away to prevent escape like the S20 Ultra tried to do. The lower mid-frame and speaker clip into place, and the 5 Phillips head screws are tightened. I'll reattach the battery and this last 5G antenna over the top, then grab the shield and wireless charging pad and connect it before tightening the last 6 Phillips head screws. Finally, it's time to power on the device and make sure everything is working well before getting that terribly shattered back glass reattached again. I'll add primer to the edges of the new housing so the back glass has something to stick to. It'll press down around the edges, get this device cleaned up and back to its owner. Thanks for joining me. Let me know in the comments what devices you'd like to see repaired. And I'll see you next time.